Thank you for acknowledging my red light, Mr. President. Mr. President, I beg to move the following motion, standing in my name. Whereas it is provided by Section 54(1) of the Public Finance Management Act number 14 of 2020, that the Minister for Finance may, by affirmative resolution of Parliament, write off losses of public monies, public assets, or other movable property belonging to the government, or provided for the public service, or abandon, or remit, or claim by or on behalf of the government, or a public service provided where the amount is $10,000 or more, and whereas the Fonseca Credit Cooperative Society Limited is indebted to the government in the sum of EC $546,264 with respect to the Mocha Housing Development Project. And whereas the Minister of Finance considers it necessary to write off the debt owed to the government by the Fonseca Credit Cooperative Society Limited with respect to the Mocha Housing Development Project. Be it resolved that the Parliament authorizes the Minister of Finance to write off the debt in the sum of $546,264 EC owed to the government by the Fonseca Credit Cooperative Society Limited with respect to the Mocha Housing Development Project. Yes, Mr. President, if I can just quickly elaborate a little bit. This motion really is seeking to come to the rescue of a situation in the Soufrière Fonseca constituency where a loan owed to the government by the Credit Cooperative Society with respect to that development, as mentioned, Mocha development, needs to be taken care of. This move basically is two-pronged. In one respect, it is going to help the institution strengthen its financial capacity. It has given out a total of 26 loans, but of the 26 given, only 11 of them have been serviced. And these residents who have purchased small homes, they've made investments in there. Some of them don't have the capacity to repay those loans. Some of them, they need assistance. The credit union is not receiving the expected revenue, and the government sees that this is a move that will help the credit union improve its situation with its balance sheet, improve its capacity to be able to offer more services to the community, and to go into more productive lending. And the second aspect, as I said, it was two-pronged. The second aspect would be that this now allows the persons who are actually accessing the service, better living conditions, because they can now access the service that they otherwise would not have accessed. And those who have actually been paying the loans, or who have paid the loans, can now access deeds of sale for the properties that they've invested in. It is true that there are some persons who may be delinquent, and from time to time, we know that they are bad debtors, they don't pay their bills. Maybe there's a good example that we've learned from. When you don't pay your bills, it can cause problems for other people. But as a government, we don't encourage that. However, when it comes to vulnerable people who are trying, and they just cannot, and the institution has reached out on their behalf, the government that cares for people, the government that puts people first, sees that it's necessary to intervene. And instead of taking money to go and give, countless examples to friends and all those things, we think it's a very important initiative that this government intervenes and rescues a very small but very significant institution in the Soufrière Fonseca constituency and help those persons. So you're going to have two things happening, Mr. President. One, The institution itself will get some assistance to be able to survive, and the persons who are unable to meet their benefits, not because we want them to be delinquent, we're giving them a chance to say, look, 11 of you have been paying your loans, even if it's difficult, we are going to reward you. We are going to make sure that you now have title to your properties, deed of sale, you can own this. And for those of you who just couldn't pay, the credit union will be able to get some relief. So it really is a very important move, albeit small but significant. And that is a proper demonstration of what our government is about. And so I'm very happy. And I see a former representative of Souffre Forcejac. I believe his heart is still there. And I'm sure inside he's very pleased. I see him blushing, his pink cheeks, blushing and being very grateful, and rightfully so, that the government has decided to help a situation for the people where he represented. I don't want to chastise him too much, but all I'll say to him is I wish his government had done the same earlier. It would have been a good investment, and he'd probably be on this side still. But, Mr. President, that's how it is. So I look forward to the support of this House for that initiative on behalf of the people of Souffre Forcejac. I thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I just wanted to make an observation. First of all, let me thank the Honourable Senator for his contribution, and as well as the Honourable Senator, the Independent Senator, for his words of encouragement and advice. But there's one thing I've noted, and I wanted to make sure we take note of it before we go to the bill. As we went on today, there's something I realized. The opposition, they've come around. We started by saying that all this thing about borrowing from the first motion, but we have gotten to the point where they've gradually gotten to the point that they support what we're doing. So supporting this situation in Forcejac, don't forget the government had to borrow money to deal with it. So I think they've finally come down to earth, and we're dealing with the reality, and I want to thank them immensely for agreeing that we, in this government, when we borrow for a good cause. Just to ensure that I said so, Mr. President, instead of writing off and throwing away everything that we don't think makes a profit in this country, they have finally come home and supported openly the motion where we are borrowing money for a good cause. Thank you, Mr. President.